Good afternoon. Welcome to KCL Tech Tip Tuesday. I'm Kevin Coachman. Today we're going to talk about introduction to KCL tools. So this one's really geared towards the new users. And I like to start out showing everyone how do you get the software. So if you go out to kclcad.com, go to Access KCL, and you want to download the KCL BIMCAD Designer application. If you're brand new, there are quick start instructions you can read and review. If you're looking to update your software or install it, you run the wizard. The KCL installer, if you're new, it will show install. In my case, I see modify. It will automatically detect what versions of full Revit you have, give you some options. If you don't want to install for certain versions, you can uncheck it. We recommend choosing current user, makes updates a lot easier. And then location will be up to you, and you'll accept and continue on. So I already have the software, and we're going to jump over to what the KCL BIMCAD Designer looks like. And we'll kind of start from what do you do when you get to this point? Well, you've got a toolbar, you've got boxes, and that's where we're going to start with the filter boxes where they're labeled model, manufacturer, and category. So starting with model number, if you know what you're looking for, I'm going to type in the word BART. Well, that's because we have a model number called Bartender 7. So even though I only typed in a few letters, it came up with the exact item almost instantly. I can see my different views on the right. The black background views are AutoCAD. The white background view is Revit. We label plan for top, front view, 3D view, and then there's a side view. So the AutoCAD plan front and side are two-dimensional, AutoCAD three-dimensional, or Revit three-dimensional are your options. And this is the goal for all manufacturers. I'd like to say that they're all perfect. Some may have Revit, some may have CAD, some may have both. Once I find what I'm looking for, I can click the A on the view I want to send it over to AutoCAD. So here's my block. I place it, I can rotate it, and I will get a balloon or tag, of which KCL has multiple options that we cover in other webinars. This is just a rectangular tag. So back into KCL, if I know the model number, I type it in again. Now it gives me a list of about 16 models from I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 manufacturers. So as long as you know part of the model number, we can give it to you instantly. You don't need the dashes or slashes. KCL goes to the first exact match it can find, in this case, WS1224, but all the others had that same match. You'll see this manufacturer has a plan in front. If we click on a different one, here we've got all 5 views again. So it does vary by manufacturer. I can tell by looking in the grid that the A is AutoCAD, R is Revit. So a couple of the manufacturers only have AutoCAD blocks at this time. Some have Revit and AutoCAD when you see the R and the A. So if you know the model number or part of the model number, type it in. If I double click the X, it will clear all 3 boxes. Doesn't hurt if they're already empty. So single click to clear one box, double click to clear them all. If you don't know the model number, you go to the manufacturer box. Well, inside here, we've got our list of 200 plus manufacturers. You can scroll through, you can jump to a letter, or you can type. And if I know I'm looking for unique, I type UNI and I can see 2 of them because Univex and unique have the same prefix. The more you type, the more specific it gets. I still have not picked the manufacturer. You don't have to because it's already filtered. So if I want to go to Vulcan, I type VUL, I'm already here for all my Vulcan items. And I can scroll through. I can look by model number and jump to the L's, or I could type in LG because I didn't realize that's what I was looking for. I'm going to clear my search, and we'll give you one other tip. Let's say I type STRU, gets me to structural. If I click the star, that is now a favorite manufacturer. If I clear my search, start again, it's now at the top of the list. You can have multiple manufacturers as starred manufacturers. And you have the additional option to make it a user preferred, just for me, or I can set this for my company so anyone in the KCL Coachman company would see the gold star for structural, the blue star for crown. They're still both favorites. One is for the whole company. So kind of some neat things you can do here. You can also select multiple manufacturers at one time. If I said, well, I'm looking at something from these 3 manufacturers. Again, my list will now show just those 3 manufacturers. And we try to tell you what you're filtering. So the check boxes mean something, the stars mean something, or you can just simply select a manufacturer if you don't want to type. The third way to find items is using the category tab. So we'll start with, if I type in sink, well, we have 137 sink categories. So let's be a little more specific. Hand. Now I'm at 39. I could keep typing if I wanted the word floor. Now I'm down to 2. And you can see here, depending on what the manufacturer calls it, the order is not critical as long as we have the word. So sink hand floor, hand sink floor, they show up. We definitely try to help you out and help you narrow it down. This shows all manufacturers that match. If I have categories selected, even though I haven't checked them, they're still selected, I can go over to manufacturer, I can see a list. So let's do one more here. If we said refrigerator. Okay, we have 100 different refrigerator categories, but now I can see which manufacturers have some kind of refrigerator category, and there's a lot. So I may be better off trying to narrow it down. We'll say reach in, now we're down to 20 types, and my list is shorter here. So that's all very interactive. If I said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna pick beverage air for reach-ins, but then I happen to clear this list of categories, now I see all of beverage air. So I can start with category, go to manufacturer, back to category, vice versa, any order you want. Sometimes that gets people because you have part of a model number in there. Maybe you forget and now you don't see the full list of manufacturers. Double click the X to clear all 3 boxes. So searching is fairly straightforward. We'll do one more. Let's go to tortilla. And I can see different tortilla units. I can find an item and again hit A for AutoCAD to send it over to AutoCAD. And I get my tag as well. If I want their Revit symbol, I can choose a voltage in this case and then hit R for Revit. Again, similar path to AutoCAD or Revit or KCL napkin sketch. In this case for Revit, once I place the item, I'm done. Revit has its own tagging and balloons. So we're loading the item and the item has all the data attached to it. In AutoCAD, the data is in the balloon. Here's my electrical information. So one click, send to AutoCAD, send to Revit, but what you get depends on the platform. If I go back and I want to do maybe the same thing one more time, let's go for a specific model. Looking in A400, but in this case, I want to send it to napkin sketch. I click N for napkin sketch, and this is KCL's built-in, very basic CAD type program where I can load, move, I can even view it in napkin sketch in 3D. So if you don't have Revit or AutoCAD, you can still create layouts using KCL napkin sketch. So back to the drawings, minimize this out of the way in case we use it. You have A for AutoCAD, R for Revit, N for napkin sketch. The G for group is something that we go through on an advanced webinar and other webinars. But for this one, there's a little icon called Show Full Screen. If you want to get a better view of something, you can zoom into it just by using the scroll wheel. If you need to check a measurement, you can double check and I can say, well, let's go from one side to the other. It already showed me the overall dimensions in the bottom left, but I can pick specific sections that I want to measure. How far is the electrical from the side? I can see it's about 4 inches. So we have a little measure tool. So without going too deep into KCL, you've got the ability to view your CAD blocks, Revit families directly inside KCL, send to AutoCAD, send to Revit. While you're working with KCL, and again, we're just going to show off some different model numbers so you can see different items. So I'm looking at something from Quantum Food Service down in the bottom corner. They have a spec sheet. When I click on that, this opens up in my web browser. You have the ability to have it open up into your local PDF viewer as well. So you're not stuck to just the KCL way. So you have the ability, viewing spec sheets. We'll do one more. Cooler Concept, I click their spec sheet, same thing, pretty easy to open up. If you're an AutoCAD user, napkin sketch user, AutoCAD LT, we also give you the ability to move your mouse over the symbol. And as it says on the tooltip, control left click allows me to get the spec sheet directly from AutoCAD LT. We have a function like that in Revit as well. But we just want you to see that you can get spec sheets directly inside KCL or after you load the items. If you happen to be a Revit user and you're looking for an item but they don't have Revit, we'll pull up, here's an item from Altosham. I can hit R for Revit. Even though there's no Revit item, KCL will convert that and load that into your project. So if you need a placeholder, or in this case, it's going to be a nice 3D, KCL will load it, convert it to a Revit family, even though it's still an AutoCAD block, and I can see my utility information. If I were to view this in 3D, move this one over a little bit, this looks pretty good. So AutoCAD 3D can be used with Revit. In addition, I can also use two-dimensional symbols. So if I only have a 2D item, and let's see if I have this still in the database, not from Altosham, there it is. Got an item from Raquel that this is only two-dimensional. Hit R for Revit. And it's loading, and there it is. So this item will load into my Revit project. It has data for Revit, electrical information it'll schedule, but if I view a 2D converted item in Revit, doesn't look so good. It gives me the three-dimensional space that it takes up, and we kind of pasted the little pictures or images from the 2D onto it. It's really meant as a placeholder for two-dimensional. It'll tag and schedule, but I just want you to see proof is in the pudding here. It does work. So anything that you have in KCL can be sent to AutoCAD, Revit, or Napkin Sketch. Let's go back to that top view. Another big feature in KCL, besides the vast library that we have, is the ability to create drawings on the fly. So I'm going to go up to custom blocks at the top, and I have several manufacturers, and I'm just going to give you a glimpse of the generic ones. That there's over 100 generic applications. So let's start and just make a walk-in cooler. I'm going to go to Bally. I will now have different values I can set. Do I want a 1 or 2 compartment? What's the front to back dimension? top to bottom, compartment 1, compartment 2. They can be different sizes, they can be the same. Do I want to show a ceiling? A lot of detail in here. But if I pick different options, now I can choose my door size. Is it a right or left hinge? How many hinges are there? Is the door towards the left, right, or center of it? And when I'm ready, I hit generate. And now I have a 2-compartment cooler. If I want only a 2D plan, I change my style, and that's all I'm going to get. If I want just a 3D, there it is. If I want both, we'll generate it, and now we can send it to AutoCAD or AutoCAD LT. It's a little bit bigger than the rest of the drawing, so we'll zoom out and see it. And there's my 2-compartment cooler. If I wanted to send that to Revit, I can hit R for Revit. It'll look good in 3D, not native Revit, but it'll work. If I want to send it to Napkin Sketch, I click N for Napkin Sketch, and there it is. So you can use custom blocks in any KCL supported application, as well as downloading it, saving it as a drawing. So if you use 3D Studio Max or some other CAD program that we don't directly support, you can download it as a DWG, or you can drag and drop it. So it's kind of cool that you can use custom blocks to do different things. We'll just do 2 more custom blocks. I'm going to pick work table. And I can see different styles by using the visual selector, or I can select down at the bottom. Let's do a splash with feet, change the size, generate. Some of them will also give the option to create just an elevation drawing as well. I can send to AutoCAD or Revit. If I want to use the filter in the custom blocks and I type in the word table, well, there's my work table still. We even have table and chairs, and we have a few styles. This isn't going to give you everything, but if you need a placeholder, now I've got 4 chairs around this table. If I change to a larger table, I can change the number of chairs. So if you have salespeople or someone who just wants to do a seating layout, you can use Napkin Sketch. If you don't have AutoCAD, you actually just send the number that you need, because there's no copy command in our very basic program, but I can load them, move them around. I can then show someone a 3D layout of their furniture. If I have AutoCAD or Revit, I can do the same. Turned off the 2D just so we can see it a little bit better. So custom blocks are part of KCL. You can type in text. If I said bathroom, I can see I've got some bathroom equipment. If I typed in sink, I can see different types of sinks. And if I just want to explore manually, here we can look at a list: fryers, ovens, lots of fabricated items, refrigeration. I can build shelving on the fly. So custom blocks will have a lot to offer to you. You can use them with any part of KCL. Once you do put your items into AutoCAD, excuse me, I'm going to show this is a drawing I've already set up. So you can see that I had a different style tag to it. It's got items here. If I zoom out a little, you'll even see this one has some elevation samples. So I'm looking at my drawing now. KCL has a command called Edit Balloons. Edit Balloons will allow you to edit item numbers, edit utility data, descriptions. Now in my case, it came up with the very first number 1 it found, which was an elevation view. So I'm going to go back to my floor plan, and I'm going to say, let's load my selection. I only want to work on the floor plan right now. So now I've got my items. As I click, KCL will zoom you so that item or balloon is in the center of the screen. You can change the item number and update the balloon. Now we went from 8 to 8X. You could change the manufacturer. I have 3 number 11s that are my work tables. If I want to make a change to one of them, I can say, let's actually change the shape here to, we'll do a rectangle. And I can just update that single balloon to a rectangle. I can also change any characteristic, electric, plumbing, gas, steam, description, and say, hey, do this to all of the number 11s. And it's kind of zooming me around the drawing, and it updated to the other shape that I just put in. So you can update one at a time, you can update multiple, and when you're ready, you fixed the information, whether it's utility, item numbers, quantities, you can then run a schedule. KCL provides some standard templates. You can see I've got a whole bunch of user templates, probably need to clean them up one of these days. But if I said I just want to do a short little equipment with manufacturer model, there's my list. I can add or exclude. I can do my entire drawing, select the area, go to Excel, AutoCAD. So I'm going to do one that says, hey, take this, run it in AutoCAD. It'll read the drawing, come back, and there's my schedule. Now, I forgot I had an option that said put the item number at the end. So I can either erase it and redo it or just do another one here. And in this case, let's go back and do an electrical schedule. Output options allows me to make changes like repeat item number. Now I'm going to say skip if it doesn't have electrical. So again, tell it where to go, what items to include. And then this schedule you can see is a lot shorter because it's only including the items that have electrical data. So you can filter with or without data. There's a lot of customization that you can do to the system. But for our newer users, you're going to search, send to AutoCAD or Revit. You're going to edit the balloons if you're using AutoCAD and run schedules. We also have the ability to run spec books. We do that in other webinars. We just want to make sure that you have some basics of how to get started with KCL. If you have any questions or problems, please feel free to contact us at the top of the screen. Pick a subject, type in your own, send us a note. You don't have to go back to the website to look us up. You've got a tech support number, you've got an email address. You can send us a note right from inside the software. If you like videos or webinars like today, at the top right, you can click our YouTube button. Takes you out to the YouTube channel, and you can see here group screen, layer mapping, private cloud. If I hit videos, I can see a few more that may be a little bit older. Napkin sketch and room builder. We haven't done an intro to KCL, well, or recorded one for about 7 months here, it looks like. But there's many short videos like today. Check it out. You can click the subscribe button that we have. That way you will be notified when we add videos. We do have time to take any questions, and we do appreciate everyone joining in today. Thank you for watching another KCL Tech Tip Tuesday.